I'm not too sure if anybody's ever told you this, but it came as a surprise to me, because all I did in my life was search for some sort of meaning, purpose, talent, something that I could prove my worth, something that would validate my worth, something that would show me I'm lovable. And never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I'm enough just as I am. And no one ever would have told me that. Everybody would always pick at the negatives, pick at this and this and this and this. So there's all kinds of criticism, negativity, and it's very seldom in our life that someone actually goes up to us and says, you are enough. You don't need a soulmate. You don't need a partner. You don't need the best guru or best spiritual teacher or find the perfect book. You are enough. So you finding yourself, you truly accepting yourself for who you actually are. So just a plain old human being. There's, if you think about the vastness of humanity, if you think about how many people are in your school, how many people are in your company, we're just a small little speck of the bigger world. Like we feel like we're special because our ego tells us we're special, but you're enough just as you are, not as your ego tells you you should be or should become or should be in the future or need to grow to. You are enough. You are enough right now. You are enough. You were enough. If you look back in childhood, most of the things that hurt you, it was pre-injustice or something like that, where you needed to prove yourself afterwards, even though you knew you were enough. So we get into this spiral, and our society doesn't help us. And how many times do you get a pat on the back saying, you can do this, you've got this? You don't need anybody to tell you how to live your own life. You are the total authority of your own life. So none of that makes any sense, us chasing after ideas, beliefs, what some sort of podcast told us. It doesn't make any sense. You're the one that knows what you're running from. You're the only one that knows what's troubling you. You're the only one that knows what you're not saying out loud. And it's about facing that and becoming whole, becoming one. And as soon as you accept yourself, you become whole, you become one. And from there, everything is a breeze. Like, that feeling of, I just need to get this and then I'm going to be happy. That's an idea. That's not true. It's as soon as we give up all those ideas and go like, well, I'm poor, I'm sick, I'm lonely. No, I'm not lonely, I'm alone. But I'm breathing, I'm alive, I've got sunshine outside, I've got legs that still work. So, we need to find the gratitude for the simplicity, the purest sense, the innocent joys and pleasures of life, of nature, of our life, that we should be very grateful to have. I mean, many of us have had friends that have died too early, too soon. Many hours, and it's not a theory, it's not a belief, but I like to reframe that as they are our sacrifices. So the people that we lost too early forced us to deal with death, forced us to deal with our own humanity, mortality. So, well, humanity as well, but for me, it was like a fairy tale life. So people die when they're old. And as soon as someone died my own age, I was like, oh, what? That's not possible. Children don't die. I was 13 at the time. It was a friend that died of a heroin overdose at the age of 13, so it was a bit perplexing. I never really dealt with it in a sensible fashion. I thought it was life proving its unfairness, and that's it. I didn't deal with it till later. But life isn't fair. Like, us thinking that life should be fair is an idea. It's just, life is what it is. As soon as we forget the ideas and the beliefs, as soon as we can let go of all the things, it's the personal beliefs that's the issue. If I tell you God isn't real, like, you'll probably be able to maybe think about, like, what is my belief based on? Is it based on facts or ideas? And that's what Krishnamurti is basically talking about, living life based on what is, not what we believe it is, not interpreting life as we wish. So it's like this third person narrator that we add. And yeah, Jiddu Krishnamurti made that very clear and obvious to me. So, and I just see so many people out there lost, looking for some sort of answers, purpose, meaning, and frustrated by, I don't know, this never-ending search, and it's painful to watch. So, and nobody ever tells you you're enough. You're good enough as you are. You don't need $1 billion or a fancy car. That's never going to bring you true, enduring, lasting happiness. No happiness, joy. So it's inner peace, and then joy just comes pouring in. It's very easy, like very small, and seeing a puppy, all of a sudden it's like you've never seen a puppy before. So if you like, you're a child again. So when there's a fluffy puppy, you get excited. So it's that, like, almost, I would say, blissful ignorance, or it's a very innocent way, fresh new life. And anybody can do this. This is a restart to life, and it was sort of easy for me to start new, as my life as I knew it just collapsed in spectacular fashion. Like, everything I knew collapsed, so I wanted a new start. I was broken and anxious, depressed, suicidal, you name it. Like, it was definitely like the lowest of the low. And it only got worse, but my attitude changed. So all the things that happened afterwards, I'm like, yeah, still alive. And that's what it's all about. So, but you don't need me, you don't need Krishnamurti. It's a very simple human endeavor to accept yourself for who you actually are, not like society or your parents or your friends or your girlfriend or your boyfriend want you to be. And it's very simple, it's very humble, and it makes sense. We know we're running from it, we know we're escaping, and we're trying to find an answer, an easy solution, like, oh, can I pay this person for this retreat? Or no, you have to do the hard work. Like, it's not that hard. Like, it's just facing yourself. It's judgment day for you. It's in the safety of your own confines, in your own life. So you have the freedom to explore, and it's the best salvation. Like, everybody's afraid of it, and I just have to smile, because I go like, yeah, it's a little bit of a, like, oh yeah, I have to go out and I have to go back and think about, or work on, what am I actually running from, like, actually facing. It's like, yes, that seems scary, but what it entails, facing it, and the freedom that you have from that then is unbelievable. Afterwards you just go like, what the hell did I drag that on for that many years? That's why it's enlightenment. Like, you go into the light, you'll never go back into darkness, because that's way too much work, it's too much effort. And like, if you want a scientific explanation, it's neurons firing to think, and neurons firing always entail a loss of energy. So if you're no longer thinking about it, it's not going to change the situation. If I think about it, it is what it is, it happened, it's done. It's just the fighting, the acceptance, that's the loss of energy. So, and you can do it yourself. You're the only one that can do it. That sort of makes my nature sort of superfluous, because you don't need me to tell you that you're enough. But there's so many voices out there telling you what you need. And you don't need that. You've got it already. It's in there inside you. You know, you feel. If what I'm saying resonates, it's only because you know it already. It's nothing I'm saying. I'm just pointing at the obvious. And like anything that resonates, you already know. So I have complete faith that there's nothing special about me understanding this. There's nothing special about Krishnamurti understanding this, and the people that came before him that understood the same but communicated in a different way. Like, anybody can do it. Everybody's searching for it. If we couldn't do it, why would we be searching for it? We created the ego, we can let it go. So it's the most beautiful thing. And I'm getting chills thinking about it, because I sincerely hope someday or somehow I can make you understand what I'm trying to say, drag you out of the struggle, the conflict, the misery, and enjoy life no matter what happens. As I like to say now, like, you float along the waves instead of swimming against the current. And life is beautiful. And it's hard to see with the ego, but it really is. I don't know if you can see the chills, but I just want you to join me. Anybody, Why would you not want to make other people happy? I'm not making other people happy, but let other people enjoy this blissful ignorance and joy. Thank you very much for listening. And you are enough. And you're all you ever need to find true happiness, to find true self-acceptance and inner peace. It's beautiful. Thank you. Much love. One love. Talk soon.